I'm going to be using this 20-pound steel wire to twist up the hook hanger and also the line tie for this lure, but for the bottom part where the blade's going to be hanging off of, I'm just going to be using the store-bought eyelets that I have because they're pretty heavy-duty metal and also have those rivets in there to be able to screw it in. So it should work really well to hold that in and make sure the blade never comes out. I'm also going to wait to add that bottom eyelet there for the blade until we're ready to clear coat, just so that way it has a clean connection with the blade and I don't have to worry about having to scrape off any paint or anything during that process. I think I'm going to go with a baby bass pattern, so I'm going to go with a pretty realistic looking eye and kind of this yellowish green one here. I think it's a good size for it, and I think it'll add to the paint scheme. The way I make my eye sockets is by taking the eyes that I want to use and take them off the sheet, put them around where I want them, so right about there on that side. Then I take my other eye and then flip it over, add it to the other side, and then I always align it so when you're looking at it like this from the top down view, they're perfectly aligned horizontally there, and then when you're looking at it from the straight ahead view, they're again aligned horizontally, and that normally makes sure that is pretty even, because I have made a lure where the eye right here is way forward and the other one's back here a little more, and then it looks kind of funny from the top. So I always make sure now to check that both ways. But then I'm going to take my pencil here and then just draw a circle. Since there is a little bit of glue on the back of these eyes, they stay in place. So then take the pencil, draw a circle around just like that, and then that's the mark out for where the eye socket's going to go. You set the eye aside till we're ready to use it, and then I'm going to use this Dremel bit here, just a sharp tip Dremel bit, and etch out where I want the eyes to be. Base coat of white. Now I'm going to do some gold towards the top here along the back, and then also a black lateral line like the bass have, just kind of sporadic across the middle of the body. The black is a little hard to see, but when you look at it from the right angle, you still kind of see it. So the green did get pretty dark, so maybe we'll add some silver on the bottom with a different stencil to lighten it up a little bit. Now I'm going to use the comb as a stencil and use some of this pearlized silver to add some stripes. Sorry in advance for the rain. It is pretty loud right now. But anyway, the next step is to add the stencils here for the gill plates. So we're going to start with this one for the bigger gill plate. Use some of these for the smaller one, as well as a little bit of detail with the smaller etch here. Now I'm going to add some white to the gill plates. I had painter's tape to cover up the lip, but I also like to add some scotch tape below that, just because sometimes the painter's tape, the glue, really sticks onto the lip, and then it's really hard to get off. So you have to use like oil, like lemon oil or whatever, to get it off the lip. So scotch tape seems to do better with that. So I do 2 layers, the scotch tape and then the painter's tape. Then this is the blade we're going to put on eventually too. I was originally going to go with this silver one off this old spinnerbait that I found while fishing one time, but I think the silver doesn't look as good, especially with those gold scales with this lure. So I'm going to try to rig this to work. I'll probably put a swivel onto this to make it work pretty well and be able to swing around and rotate on the bottom there, but that should look pretty good with this paint scheme. And here's the finished up hardware for the bottom where the blade will be. And it's pretty simple. All I did was drill a little bit bigger of a hole in that blade right there. And then I add a split ring through that hole to attach the swivel. And the swivel will allow this blade to kind of swing freely in the water as it wants. And then I add a little bit smaller of a split ring to the front there. And this is what will attach the eyelet on the bottom of the lure. So that should work pretty well. And I'm hoping that it doesn't interfere with the back treble hook. But as they get pulled through the water, there should be no interference and it should work pretty well. So that's what it's looking like. I should have just found this smaller gold looking swivel here. So I think it'll work much better than the other one that I already put on. So I'm going to switch them out. This one's a little smaller, so it shouldn't get in the way of the treble hook as much. And also, it is that same gold color that matches the paint scheme even more. So that should work pretty good. There's the new setup. So that's the finished Underspin crankbait. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. It's a good size and it sinks at a pretty good rate as well, along with having a good action, and I think it looks pretty natural as well. So I'm definitely going to be using this lure a lot over the summertime, and I can't wait to hopefully catch some big fish with it. A lot of you guys have been requesting some action videos, so I'm really glad I got to be able to test this one out and put it in the video today. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.